Okay, the person that's on Zoom that has iPhone that says Samsung SM-S 156V. Would you please take your mic off of mute and state your name?
Isaac Stoneham.
Isaac Stoneham. Okay, Mr. Stoneham, you can put your mic back on mute.
Sir.
Okay. Yeah. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you County Court at Law Number 2. My name is Judge Terrence Holmes. I'm the presiding judge here in County Court at Law Number 2. This morning we have 3 dockets. We have a pretrial conference docket, an announcement docket, and trial docket. When I call your name, please come forward with your attorney. If your attorney is not here, then we will wait for your attorney to arrive. First case is Shayna Levine Gregory. Ms. Gregory, would you please come forward?
We were hoping, just discovered that I have not applied for pretrial diversion in her case, and I think I need to sit right there, Shane.
In the middle.
And I want to do my due diligence because this is a person who's never had any type of criminal history or anything. And if we could just get a short recess, but I think they'll say up or down shortly.
Give
30
us
days
a,
would be great.
we're gonna reset it. I think the next one is February, but it's gonna be April. Put it in the second week of April, pretrial diversion. Page 1 of the pretrial conference docket.
That'll be at the same time, Judge, 9 a.m.?
Yes,
Yes, sir. Can she go sit down? Are we good?
well, she's gonna get a reset, once you get your reset.
Thank
Y'all can stand over, and once y'all get your reset, you're free to go, y'all have a blessed day. Clarence Timothy Flowers. What was that date? I'm doing fine, Mr. Flowers, how are you doing?
Good New Year's, good New Year.
That's good. This is cause number M 332-936, case of style state of Texas versus Clarence Timothy Flowers. So Flowers is represented by attorney Brian Lane. Attorney Lane, how are you doing?
Good morning.
And the state is represented in this case by attorney Haley Simmons. Ms. Simmons, how are you doing?
I'm great, Judge. How are you?
And Mr. Lane, what is your answer to Mr. Flowers' case?
Your Honor, we respectfully requesting a trial.
You said a trial date. Okay, give us a trial date.
February 17th, and pre-trial date is 17th.
Okay, this case will be reset to February 17th, 2024 for trial. Mr.
25.
Flowers,
Yeah.
okay, Mr. Flowers, you're gonna get your reset from your attorney. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And you have a blessed day as well, Mr. Lane.
Thank you, Judge.
17.
Oh, you said April, Judge, or February?
April, yeah, it should be April for the pretrial conference. I mean, pretrial diversion.
What is
Next case is cause number M 327-588, case of style of the state of Texas versus Aaron M. Jernigan. Hey, Ms. Mosby, Mr. Jernigan is in custody. Okay,
Yes.
He is.
okay.
Yeah.
Could you go ahead and get him out? And we pick a jury at 1:30.
1:30.
Okay. Yeah, if this is your case. You have another?
No, just these two. Just work attorney.
Yeah, this is called number M 327-588, case of style of state of Texas versus Aaron and Jernigan. Jernigan, is that your full name?
Oh, yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Jernigan?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine, thanks, sir. Mr. Jernigan, you're represented by your attorney, Attorney Giles Cole. Attorney Cole, how are you doing?
Great, Judge.
And Mr. Cole, what is your announcement in Mr. Jernigan's case?
We're ready.
Okay, state,
State's ready.
okay. We'll be picking a jury at 1:30. So, Mr. Jernigan, you can follow the bailiff and you have the best day. Okay. And Mr. Cole,
I have Your Honor.
Tijuan Mack,
He said with the felony down the hallway there.
okay, so I guess, we just have, once he gets back, we'll find out what they did on the felony.
And also I have Mr. Kyrie Wood.
Yeah, Kyrie Jacoy Williams,
Yes, Your Honor.
is he here?
I don't believe so. I'm gonna try.
Kyrie Jacoy Williams?
He's not here, Your Honor.
Okay, so what we'll do, give you an opportunity to contact him.
Yes, Nick, give me a second, Judge. He
Okay.
reached out last night.
Okay. Okay, we'll do that.
Thank you.
Okay, you're
I'll
welcome.
be excused.
Yes, you may. Adrian Cardenas Mendoza. Mr. Cardenas Mendoza, your full name is Adrian Cardenas Mendoza. How you doing, Mr. Cardenas Mendoza? Doing all right? Mr. Cardenas Mendoza, you're representing your case by your attorney, Alan Parker. Attorney Parker, how are you doing?
Good, Judge, thanks.
That's good. Now, Mr. Parker, what's your announcement?
Your Honor, we're asking for one more reset. I want to talk to the prosecutor about some information that I'm aware of that may help resolve this case.
Give us a reset date. Okay, it's on the announcement docket, page 7, the last case. Now, Mr. Cardenas Mendoza, your case is gonna be reset. You're gonna get your reset from our court coordinator. Once you get your reset from the court coordinator, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
And you're free to go as well, Mr. Parker. Javier Junior Halamo. On the pretrial conference docket, page 5.
We've signed it up. Please, ready on.
You
They
not
might still
ready?
be sending it over. I have a dismissal coming with it as well.
Okay, just have a seat, so we'll,
He has 3 cases and 2
I
of
know.
them have a plea.
okay. Don Causey,
President, Your Honor. Excuse me. Good morning, Your Honor.
good morning.
Tom's here.
Mr. Causey, your full name is Sean Nicholas Causey.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Causey?
Okay, thank you.
That's good. I'm doing fine now. Mr. Causey, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Tom Kelly. Attorney Kelly, how are you?
Judge, I'm okay today. Thank you.
Well, that's good. And
I'm just okay. I'm not
Today.
great. I'm not bad. I'm
today,
okay.
okay. Well, that's good. Somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle.
State is represented in this case by Attorney Andrew Hubel. Attorney Hubel, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge. Thank you.
That's good. Now, Mr. Kelly, what is your announcement in Mr. Causey's case?
Judge, this is our second appearance before you together. We just need some discovery time. If you leave us on this docket, please.
Give us a reset. Let me get this copy. He's on the announcement docket, page 3. Okay, Mr. Causey, your case is gonna be reset to February 14, 2025. You're gonna get your reset from our court coordinator. Once you get your reset, you're free to go. And you have a blessed day. Please stand in front of the court coordinator. Thank you.
Judge, I'm on your trial.
Yes, I see that. Casey Dwayne
Doherty.
Doherty.
He's president.
Mr. Doherty, how are you doing?
Doing fine, sir. Yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Doherty, you're representing your case by your attorney, Attorney Tom Kelly. Attorney Kelly, What's your announcement?
Your Honor, this is quite a bit out of the ordinary on a trial docket, but I've been advised this morning that pretrial diversion may be worth an application based on some of the facts of the case. I know that is quite normal and customary to do that quite a bit ahead of a trial docket, Your Honor, but I'd like to give it a chance if you'd allow us to, please.
Date?
And state is ready on this case, but defers to the court's judgment on this.
How long, this case is 506 days old.
I understand. I do. And I'm
Yeah,
quite aware that it's out of the ordinary to ask on the day of the trial docket.
yeah, well, I'm inclined not to. We'll just keep it on the trial docket now. If it doesn't go, obviously you can, apply. And we have a number one setting,
Understood, Judge.
okay? So right now, we just keep it on the trial docket and, y'all have to show back up at 1:30. Okay,
This afternoon?
yes,
Okay.
okay. You, but he can leave and he show back up at 1:30. Just stay in contact with your attorney.
Yes.
Margarita Loza,
She's present, Judge.
Miss Loza, how are you doing?
Very good, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Miss Loza, represented by your attorney Tom Kelly, Attorney Kelly. And what's your announcement?
Your Honor, I'm not ready on this case. We collected discovery last week from the DA's office. I'd like an opportunity, please, to review it and review it with my client.
Ooh, it was continued last time, motion, well, continues. Who's on? No, I'm in.
So go ahead and get it, I just.
I'll get to it when I have a few things on.
I think the reason for the continuance last time, Judge, is that the court was courteous to us regarding a work-related issue. Since that time, discovery's been made available to us. It was picked up last week.
But, you know, conditions on this one. I'm not gonna change it.
Yeah, I see that. Mr. Hubel,
Yes, Your Honor.
is this your case?
Ms. Liz, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, see the last time they filed a continuous that was granted on November, December 6, 2024, for the last trial setting. And now he has an oral motion for continuous. Now, this case is, yes, pretty old. I know we have another one setting. What is your position?
Your Honor, the state is ready on this case, but would allow the defense time to review discovery and on this matter. If that is, if the court would allow that.
Okay, give us a reset. Yes,
Yes, Ms. Reed.
in this case, be reset for trial, February 17, 2025. Ms. Loza, you're gonna get your reset from the court coordinator. Once you get your reset from the court coordinator, you're free to go. You have a blessed day. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bonds.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. You have anybody with us?
That's all I have on your morning.
Okay, okay, you're free to go. You have a blessed day. What we did on, did we, on flowers was reset? We doing on Mr. Lawrence, okay?
I just sent a plea for that one for Fulton.
No, I'm saying on Jones. Is she here?
I'm not certain.
Purdy Jones? Not here?
That's
Okay,
the one you ordered a retest on. Right, and it's probably gonna be a while before we even get that from the lab, but she's on the docket today. She was to be here.
right,
There's really nothing we can do until we get that lab.
okay. Josie Babineau? Mr. Matuska? It's on that, pre-trial conference document, page 7. Ms. Babineau, your full name is Josie Tonell Babineau. How are you doing? I'm doing fine, thanks, Ms. Babineau, you're represented by your attorney, Brian Matuska. Mr. Matuska, how are you doing? Okay, Mr. Matuska, what is your announcement in Ms. Babineau's case?
Your Honor, we were here in November, actually, we're here in October, and we're gonna pay restitution. At that time, Ms. Bobineau did not have that restitution, and today she still does not have that restitution, and she's asking for more time to pay that.
State,
The state would agree to one last resetting, no more than 30 days to allow her time to pay that restitution, Your Honor.
okay. Final reset, restitution. Okay, give us a reset date. In this case, we reset to February 14th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Bobineau, you're gonna get your reset from your attorney. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Your Honor, I apologize, but I just saw that we had a conference in New Orleans that day.
What day?
The 14th.
Okay,
That'll work.
that's gonna be reset to February 24th. Okay, is this your only case, Mr. Matuska?
So,
Okay, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir, that you're doing. Why, this is a case. I got that pin, I didn't have the eraser on.
Next case is cause number 24CCCR 1246, case of Southern State of Texas versus Isaac Charles Stoneham. Mr. Stoneham is on Zoom. Mr. Stoneham, you could take your mic off of mute. Mr. Stoneham, how are you doing?
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Stoneham, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Jansen Bailey. Attorney Bailey, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Bailey, what is your announcement in Mr. Stoneham's case?
Your Honor, we're still in the discovery process. I'd like one more reset on the announcement docket before I make my announcement.
Okay, give us a reset date. Okay, this case will be reset to February 14, 2025. Mr. Stoneham, your attorney, your bondsman will be given notice of your recess. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. Your case is reset to February 14, 2025. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Hey, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, and Mr. Bailey, your reset will be sent to you. And I think this is your only case, so you're free to go as well. And you have a blessed day.
You as well. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Mr. Lewis, you here on Travante Moulton?
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
It has 6, but I believe you're here for 2 cases.
He here for 2. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
This one has 6 cases.
6? Yeah,
6 cases, Judge. He turned this up in yesterday
that's what I heard.
on 2 new cases that came out, I guess, over the weekend. My understanding is they're old cases, but just came out, 2 felony cases. We want the trial docket next door, that case, so next door has been reset 3 weeks for review, to see what was going on with those ones. We turned this up in on. The offer we have here, we're not rejecting this offer, but I would like to see what's going on there, so we want to take this.
And I was saying, we having the same problem with this guy.
I know.
Yeah, so we're gonna put him on a trial docket.
Okay.
So,
I don't reject
yeah, we set him on a trial docket.
it. Okay.
Give us a reset. Okay, so he'll be reset for trial February 17th. You have another client?
I have one on the trial docket too,
Oh,
Jeremy Morris.
Jeremy Jamal Morris? Okay, I'm doing fine. This is cause number 23CCCR 1322, case of style of State of Texas versus Jeremy Jamal Morris. Mr. Morris is represented in his case by his attorney, Attorney Marvin Lewis. Mr. Lewis, what's your announcement?
Judge, we have a continuance on file for this case, that I've
The state's unopposed.
called the state about it. We have an agreement that we have in place, but we're waiting for his probation to be, terminated this month. It's federal probation. We can get one setting and we're setting on that to share this resolved.
That's correct, Your Honor.
So this case is gonna be continued. What's the reset date?
February 17th.
This case will be reset February 17th. Stay on the trial docket.
Yes, sir.
Once you get your reset, come on, coordinating, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we got a couple things first. Who's first?
Yes. Okay. Give me 1 second.
These are dismissals.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Oh,
Charlie Rojas, that's
yeah, okay,
Your Honor.
yes.
I just had a motion to substitute on a young lady on the pretrial docket for Alvin Samuel. And,
Motion,
to
okay.
substitute, I filed it, but the court wanted me to present it in person.
It was just filed or something?
It was filed last week, Friday. And it was on Sharon Gatewood.
Probably didn't, come down to it. It's on the docket today?
Yes, sir. It was a pretrial, setting. Miss Getwood, Getwood. Mr. Samuel was or is currently the attorney.
Where is he?
Don't know. I think his office knew because I informed his office. He signed the motion to substitute.
Okay.
She is here today.
You said some free trial.
She's on pretrial today.
Brian.
Sharon Allen Getwood? Motion to substitute is in file. Looking at it now. I'm gonna print it off. Now, Ms. Getwood, let's see. The attorney of record is Attorney Holmes Samuel. And you hired Mr. Lang to represent you, is that correct?
Yes.
No, I'm looking at it, I'm just gonna want to read it. See, you said it was served on Andrew Hugel. You didn't serve it on Alvin Samuel. See something here, what's down here? I see an email for Alvin Samuel. That was on the 10th, yeah, it was sent.
Yes, sir. We know we.
Yeah, on January 10th, 2025.
I don't believe he was opposed.
Yeah, I see it here, it was sent.
Yes, sir.
It was sent to Erica Porter. Yeah. Oh. Okay, Mr. Bray, would you please put your mic on mute? Devin Bray, put your mic on mute.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Let me print it. Did I print it? I think print it. Okay, Miss, Getwood, I just signed a motion to substitute. So, Mr. Sammy is no longer your attorney, and your new attorney is Mr. Lane. You're gonna, stand in front of the court coordinator, get your reset. Once you get your reset, you and Mr. Lane, you'll be free to go.
Thank
You have a blessed day. You have a blessed day.
Thank you, lady.
What document was that? We're keeping it on the pre-trial.
Yeah.
February 24th, and I'll send it to y'all.
It says February 24th. Melcor Musan Zantel.
Not speaking English, I'll be translating.
Okay.
Yeah, Martin, she says he can speak a little bit of English, we'll be trying English and feel those.
Okay.
There's the two cases, Joe.
Okay, the court is in session and cause numbers 24 CCCR 0908, cause number 24 CCCR 2086. Both cases are style of state of Texas versus Melcor Musan Zantel. Mr. Musan Zantel, is that your full name? Okay. Mr. Musan Zantel, you're represented in this case by your attorney, Attorney Charles Rojas. Attorney Rojas, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge, thank you.
And Mr. Rojas, do you waive a record in Mr. Musan Zantel cases?
We do, Your Honor.
Mr. Musan Zantel, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God? Yeah, understand, okay. Okay, okay, at this time, Mr. Rojas, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to translate Spanish to English and English to Spanish to help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay. Tell Mr. Musan Zantel to raise his right hand. Okay. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. You may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Musan Zantel? You doing good?
Doing good.
Okay. Now, Mr. Musan Zantel, I have before me on my computer a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Melcor Musan Zantel, on or about October 20th of 2023, while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration of 0.15 or more. Mr. Musan Zantel, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Guilty. Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Musan Zantel, I have before me on my tablet a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials, MMX. Did you place your initials on this document that's next to the line that's titled guilty? Yes. On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature? Yes. On the next document that is titled Trial Court Certification for Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document? Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The top box that's checked states that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going back to the first document. States Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. On this document, at the bottom below the paragraph that is titled citizenship, there are a set of initials, MMX, and it is below a paragraph that states that if you are not a U.S. citizen, a plea of guilty or nolle contendere may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to this country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Do you understand this statement? And do you still want to go forward with your plea bargain? Okay, and you are not a U.S. citizen, is that correct? What country are you from? Guatemala. Okay. Now,
Might be within those, Judge.
oh, here it is. That's not looking for the signature. Mr. Musan Zantel, I have before me a document that is titled English Statement Number 1 for all foreign nationals, except those from mandatory notification countries. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that is titled signature? And there's one word that's circled. The word that's circled is no. And it's below a sentence that reads, do you want us to notify your consular officers at this time? And you circled no, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's correct. Okay, and he did that on both cases. Okay. Now, Mr. Rojas, you advising counsel, Mr. Musan Zantel. Did you advise him of his rights pursuant to the case of Padilla versus Kentucky regarding him not being a citizen of the United States? You have? I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, Mr. Musan Zantel, before you signed and initial all of the documents that I showed you, did your attorney, Mr. Rojas, go over these documents in Spanish? And did you understand everything that he went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State offer state one.
Any objections? No objections. States exhibit number 1 will be admitted. And Mr. Rojas, you advised and counsel Mr. Musan Zantel, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, yeah.
And Mr. Musan Zantel, your attorney, Mr. Rojas, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Mr. Musan Zantel, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state's offering 180 days probated over 2 years, $750 fine, 80 hours community service, DWI standard conditions of probation with interlock, and this is to run concurrent with a companion case.
Ms. Ross, was you appointed in these cases?
I was, yeah.
You were? What's the court cost and, oops, you said 377? Um, Okay. Mr. Musan Zantel, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. But you would not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be placed on probation for a period of 2 years. During the 2 years probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $750. You'll be required to pay court costs of $377. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, a urinalysis fee of $15 a month, a reimbursement fee of $15. You will also be required to pay the DWI conviction fine of $100. You will also be required to reimburse Jefferson County court-appointed attorney's fees of $250. You'll also be required to pay Jefferson County DWI education and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month, is $143 a month. Will you be able to pay the $143 each month?
Yes.
Okay. You will also be required to perform 80 hours of community service. You're required to install an interlock device in any vehicle that you own or operate. You're required to attend and complete the DWI education class. You're also required to have an alcohol assessment. This case will run concurrent with the companion case, cause number 24CCCR 0908. You'll also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Mr. Musan Zantel, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Okay. Mr. Musan Zantel, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Musan Zantel, we will move to your next case. And your next case is cause number 24CCCR 0908. Trying to get to this. And in this case, I have before me a document on my computer that is titled Information. In this information, it alleges that you, Melchor Musan Zantel, on or about July 1st, of 2023, while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with a blood alcohol concentration of 0.15 or more. Mr. Musan Zantel, do you understand what you have been charged with? And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Okay. Mr. Musan Zantel, I also have before me on my tablet a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials, MMX. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Okay. And on page 1 of this document, there's a set of initials below the paragraph that is titled citizenship. And this paragraph states as follows: if you're not a U.S. citizen, I'm gonna plead guilty or no contendere. Okay. If you're not a U.S. citizen, a plea of guilty or no contendere may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to this country, or denial of citizenship, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Do you understand that? Now, do you still want to go forward on this plea bargain? Okay. And earlier, we went over the document that is titled English, all foreign nationals except those from mandatory notification countries. And below the question that it states, do you want us to notify your consular officers at this time? You circle no. And this is your signature, is that correct? And I also have another document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature
Yes.
on the line that's titled defendant? Now, Mr. Musan Zantel, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. Rojas, go over these documents with you in Spanish?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand everything that Mr. Rojas went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State number 6-1.
No objection.
Okay, no objection. States exhibit number 1 is admitted. And Mr. Rojas, you advised and counsel Mr. Musan Zantel. Did you advise him of his rights in this case as well, pursuant to the case of Padilla versus Kentucky?
I did, Your Honor.
And is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Musan Zantel, are you satisfied with the services of Mr. Rojas in this case?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Musan Zantel, I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement in this case?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement in this
Exchange.
case?
Defendant's plea, the state's offering 180 days, prorated over 2 years, $750 fine, 80 hours community service, DWI state or conditions of probation with interlock, and to run concurrent with the companion case.
So in this case, it'll be 50. Let's see. What is this court cost in the second case? Okay. Mr. Musan Zantel, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You will not be required to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be placed on probation for a period of 2 years. During the 2-year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine, $750, court costs of $377. You'll be required to pay a DWI conviction fine of $100. You'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County court-appointed attorney's fees of $50, and you would have to pay a reimbursement fee of $15. Your total monthly installments in this case will be $56 a month because you will not be required to pay a probation fee in this case, and you will not be required to pay the yearly fee because you're paying those fees in the previous case. Are you able to pay the $56 each month? You are? Okay. You'll also be required to perform 80 hours of community service, install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate, attend and complete a DW education class, have an alcohol assessment. This case will run concurrent with the companion case 24CCCR 2086, and you will be required to adhere to the other standard conditions of probation in both cases. Mr. Musan Zantel, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Musan Zantel, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreements that you have entered into with your case. Mr. Musan Zantel, please stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. Mr. Ross, are those your own 2 cases? Okay. Who's next? Okay, what's his client name? Is it
Hello,
Palomo? Okay.
Javier. Chrislyn Bolton.
Open, because I'm trying to send it to Judge.
No,
Somebody has it open.
it says currently locked by nobody.
Javier Junior Halomo? Or where's his attorney? Attorney's not here.
He was here, Judge. He must have-
Okay, well,
Just have a seat. We'll wait for your attorney to arrive.
She's working on it. Jack's coming up. Jack was coming up. He thought you were calling him to the bench.
I wonder if he locked his thing. Did he go back in it?
I've already sent it off to. I don't know what's going on. I can't even open it.
What's the person's name?
Kristen Bolton.
Okay. Well, let's go on over this. No, I'm saying the person on the docket. William Pulse, come on. Okay, this is cause number 23 CCCR 0154, case of style of the state of Texas versus William Kenneth Pulse. Mr. Pulse, is that your full name?
Yes, Your Honor.
How are you doing, Mr. Pulse?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Pulse, you're representing your case by your attorney, Dustin Galmore. Attorney Galmore, how are you doing?
Judge, I'm great. How are you today?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Galmore, what's your announcement, Mr. Pulse's case?
Trial ready.
Date?
Stays right, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll see y'all back at 1:30.
Thank you.
Okay. Bryant Robinson. Bryant Wayne Robinson Jr. I'm doing fine, Mr. Robinson. You're representing your case by your attorney Reagan Minaldi. Ms. Minaldi, how you doing?
Good, Judge, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Ms. Minaldi, what is your announcement in Mr. Robinson's case?
Yes, Judge, I just got the videos associated with this case over the holiday break. I'm requesting a reset to give him time to come into the office to view those so that we can decide how to proceed with the case.
Okay. We're gonna reset it on the pre-trial conference document. Give us a reset date. Okay, this case will be reset to February 24th, 2025. Mr. Robinson, you're gonna get your reset from your attorney. Once you get your reset from the attorney, you're free to go. You have a blessed day. And Ms. Minaldi, is this your only case?
I have another one, Judge, Bailey Boggs. Miss Boggs is in the hospital. She
Boggs,
was admitted on
Boggs,
Saturday.
What's that?
Announcement should be right above Robinson.
Oh. Okay, so you said that she is in the hospital,
Yes, that's correct.
so you need to get us a oh, this is it right here. I'm just in state,
The state's received it already, Your Honor.
yeah. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna reset it, keep it on the announcement docket.
Yes, Judge. Yeah, that's 24, Judge.
So it's February
24.
24th. That's February 24th. And it is sick. You tell your client that we ran that she have a speedy recovery.
I will do that. Thank you.
Okay, you can get your resets. Once you get your resets, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you. I'll remember that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Lori Yvette Gallo. Is that a dismissal? Was that person on, is that on the, was the person on the docket?
Yes, you're. That person.
Who was the attorney? Okay. Lori Yvette Gallo.
Good morning, Your
Good morning. Mr. Gamel.
Honor.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Now, Mr. Gama, I have a dismissal
Yes.
of Ms. Gallo's case. Is that correct, State?
That's correct, Your Honor.
I'm signing the dismissal. You can get a copy of this dismissal from our court coordinator. Once you get a copy, you're free to go,
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
and you have a blessed day.
You too.
Thank you.
You got that, Rush?
Yeah, hold on a minute. Huh? What docket was she on?
Yeah.
Gama? Your job? Okay. You need it?
No, you're not probably on there. Roderick Mouton, which is a Chris Denuna case.
Oh,
Chris
hold
Denuna.
on, hold on. Denuna. What docket is he? What docket is,
He's on the pretrial, I believe.
so you standing in for Mr. Denuna?
Yeah, and Judge, I'm,
Roderick Mouton? Roderick Mouton?
Yes,
he's
I'm
on.
on Zoom.
Okay, okay, how you doing, Mr. Mouton?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Now, you're representing this case by your attorney, Edward Denuna. Mr. Denuna is not here, however, standing in for Attorney Denuna is Attorney Dustin Galmore. Does Mr. Galmore have your permission to stand in for Attorney Denuna?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Galmore, what's your announcement?
Judge, not sure what happened, but this case was originally set on Wednesday. And I don't know if maybe when we left court, it was moved to a Monday, because this case was along with another case. It's Mr. Denuna's. The other case is set on Wednesday.
Okay,
So I wasn't prepared to announce today because we didn't know it was on the docket. In fact, Mr. Mouton's the one that caught it and saw that he was on the docket. What I would ask if the court would consider just moving this case to Wednesday,
okay,
because that was our original plan, was to have a solution possibly by then.
okay. Let's reset it to the 15th.
Yes.
It's on announcement document.
Yes, page 3 at the bottom. No, pretrial
on the
docket. It's on the
pretrial.
pretrial docket. His name is Roderick Mouton Jr. That's the 15th.
Oh, this week?
Yeah, this Wednesday. Okay, this case is reset to January 15th, 2025. Mr. Mouton. Your case is reset to January 15th, 2025. On that day, you need to be here in person.
Okay, I will.
Okay. You're gonna get your the attorney and Mr. Galmore will be given copies of your recess. Stay in contact with your attorney, your bondsman. You're free to go. You have a blessed day.
Thank you,
Okay,
Judge.
you too.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, hold on, let me do this one. Rachel Woodson. Ms. Woodson, how are you doing?
Right, Judge, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Ms. Woodson, you're representing your cases by your attorney, Attorney Provo, how are you doing? Okay, Ms. Provo, what is your announcement? Hmm?
Well, let's vote, first we can take up the matter, state has a motion in these cases.
You do? Oh,
the motion for continuance based on the unavailability of a key witness.
Now, Ms. Provo, do you have any objections? No objections? Okay. So we're gonna, reset these cases for trial. We're gonna grant the motion, the state's motion for continuance.
When is the trial due?
She has to give us that, give that to us.
February 17th. My client has a problem on February 17th.
Okay, give us another date.
February 24th.
February 24th? Okay, this case we reset to February 24th, 2025 for trial. Ms. Woodson, you're gonna get your cases, you're gonna get your resets from your attorney. Once you get your resets, you're free to go. You have a blessed day. And Ms. Provo, you're gonna get your resets. Once you get your resets, you have a blessed day as well. Yes, you may be excused. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll need it. Next, who do we have? Did you ever get that one on Mr.? That's, Crystalline Bolton. We're gonna put that in here.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Well, it's on now 3 months. Four. Okay.
What is a session of call number M324-824? Case of style of state of Texas versus Crystalline Bolton. Ms. Bolton, is that your full name? Ms. Bolton, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear, affirm, and tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Ms. Bolton, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Bolton? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Ms. Bolton, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Jack Lawrence. Attorney Lawrence, how are you doing?
It's fine, Your Honor.
And Mr. Lawrence, do you waive a record in Ms. Bolton's case?
Well, I just want to mention, I might need a record because,
Okay, well,
she's
just,
ended.
okay, just have a seat. We gotta get a court report.
Sir?
Have a seat, we need to get a court report.
Oh, if we can, she's indigent and that's.
Well, I understand that. I was asking, do you want a record? Do you want a court reporter to type down everything that's being said?
I don't think I need a record because
Okay. Okay, so, Ms. Bolton, I have before me a document on my computer. Well, first of all, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay.
Yes.
Now, Ms. Bolton, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Crystalline Bolton, on or about July 28th of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault. Ms. Bolton, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes.
And to this charge, Ms. Bolton, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Ms. Bolton, I also have before me on my tablet a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials, CB, on the line next to a box that's checked no contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature? And on the next document that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, Ms. Bolton, before you sign and initial these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Bolton, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State offer states 1.
Any objections to State's Exhibit Number 1?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, no objections. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Lawrence, you advised and counsel Ms. Bolton, is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
Not at all, Your Honor.
And Ms. Bolton, your attorney, Mr. Lawrence, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Bolton, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt statement. Do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state's offering 15 months deferred probation, $500 fine, 40 hours community service, anger management, and no contact with the complaining witness. That is Alex Wilson.
Yes, and Your Honor, we are requesting she be declared indigent.
Okay. No contact with Alex. Mr. Lawrence, were you appointed in this case?
Yes. And we are
It was-
asking that,
states
the
350 or
defendant be
250?
declared indigent.
That was 220. Okay, okay, 350, okay. What's the court cost? 387. I'm gonna need a copy of the, updated,
Should I give my grounds?
no, hold on, I had to. 1 minute. Let me see. Okay, now, Ms. Bolton, the state is offering that you serve 15 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 15-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $387. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, a year analysis fee of $15 a month. You'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County the court-appointed attorney's fees of $350, and you'd have to pay a reimbursement fee of $15. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month, is $154 a month. Will you be able to pay the $154 each month?
Yeah.
You will?
Your Honor, she does not have a steady job, and she now has a 4-month-old son, and
Okay, hold on,
she
wait.
doesn't have a husband.
And she said that she can pay the $154 a month. Now I said if, by accident, can you? Huh? That's not my question.
Sir.
You can't pay it?
No.
Okay, may I see her affidavit? Okay, now, Miss Bolton,
Yes, sir.
I have a document before me that is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. I'm gonna hand this document to your attorney, and he's going to hand this document to you. And I need you to review the document. Now, on the first page, do you recognize that document?
Yes, sir.
Okay, on page 2 of that same document, top left-hand corner, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant's Signature. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Now turn back to the first page. Now, Ms. Bolton, is everything in that document true and correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can hand that document back to me. And Ms. Bolton, the court is gonna find that you are indigent. And I need to recalculate.
Your Honor, could I make a comment?
Regarding her being indigent?
Yeah, regarding her injuries.
The court has already found that she's indigent.
Huh?
The court has already found that she is indigent.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Ms. Bolton, the court has found that you're indigent and pursuant to Article 42.15 Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, your fine of $500 and court costs of $387 will be converted. Well, which comes to a total of $887 will be converted to 71 hours of community service. The attorney's fees will be waived pursuant to Article 46.05 G-11 of Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. The reimbursement fee of $50 will be waived pursuant to Article 102.016 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Your probation fee will be reduced to the statutory minimum of $25 a month. You will be required to pay the $15 a month. Your analysis fee, your total monthly installments, in this case, is $40 a month. Will you be able to pay the $40 each month?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to perform 40 hours of community service. Now, this 40 hours of community service is in addition to the 71 hours of community service, which comes to a total of 111 hours of community service. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You will also be required to attend and complete anger management class, have no contact with the complaining witness, in this case, Alex Wilson, and you will be required to adhere to the other standard terms and condition of probation. Now, Ms. Bolton, do you understand the state's offering?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Now, Ms. Bolton, the court is going to follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into. If you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not result in a conviction in your record, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters.
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Bolton, just have a seat. We have to give the court coordinator an opportunity to make the adjustments on the paperwork. Once they make the adjustments, they're gonna call you to the window. Once you go to the window, you're gonna follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you'll be free to go.
Yes.
And you have a blessed day. Mr. Gilthorpe? Okay, Javier Palomo?
Yeah, you could have a Just have a seat.
Court is in session in 3 cases, cause numbers 2, 3 CCCR 1550, cause number 24 CCCR 1625, and cause number 24 CCCR 1626. All 3 cases are styled the state of Texas versus Javier Alamo. Mr. Alamo, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Alamo, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yeah.
Mr. Alamo, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Alamo?
I'm doing good.
That's good. Mr. Alamo, you're represented in your cases by your attorney, Attorney Jared Gilthorpe. Attorney Gilthorpe, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine. And Mr. Gilthorpe, do you waive a record in Mr. Halamo's cases?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Halamo, in cause number 23 CCCR 1550, I have before me a document that is titled Information Sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, Mr. Halamo, it alleges that you, Javier Alamo Jr., on or about April 19th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of criminal mischief. Mr. Halamo, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yeah.
And to this charge, Mr. Halamo, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Mr. Halamo, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yeah.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Halamo, I also have before me a document that is on my tablet that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yeah.
And on page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials on the line next to the box that's checked guilty. Did you place your initials on these documents?
Yeah.
And on the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification, well, on the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yeah.
Now, on the next document that is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, you recognize this document.
Yeah.
And on page, well, at the bottom of this document, is this your signature?
Yeah.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yeah.
The second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yeah.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document?
Yeah.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Halamo, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yeah.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yeah.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yeah.
Mr. Halamo, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yeah.
State offer states one.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objections. States exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Gilthorpe, you've advised and counseled Mr. Halamo. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Halamo, your attorney, Mr. Gilthorpe, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yeah.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yeah.
Mr. Halamo, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state's offering 15 months deferred probation, fine is to be waived, 60 hours community service, and restitution in the amount of $2,047.29 to Enrique Quintana Cruz.
2,000.
And this will run concurrent with the
You
companion.
said 249, 2,047.29?
That's correct.
Yes.
Enrique.
Quintana Cruz.
That's Quintana Cruz?
Yes, Your Honor.
Quintana Cruz, yes, Judge.
Were you appointed in this case?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
And the only caveat, Judge, is, and discussed with Ms. Simmons, is his travel restriction. Normally probation has a travel restriction. We've agreed that he would not have that restriction. He
Well-
works for he travels for work.
Well, I mean, that's what they know. They don't, they have to put something in the paperwork that states that he'll be allowed to travel from work. They use probation usually send that over.
Right,
That's
or,
not normally not a problem.
right, or a lot of times what we do is we mention it now, and then that whole line can just be left out of the order. Instead of having to come back and file a motion to amend the conditions of probation, we can address it now and have that
Yeah,
condition.
but then, I mean, on the flip side, if you change jobs, that's not in there. I mean, so we'll just normally just do it the same way we've been doing it. It shouldn't, I mean, it's not gonna be a problem.
Okay,
Yeah. Give me what's the court cost?
Which one is this?
This is 50,
277.
277. 277. Oh, that's 15 months. Institution. Okay, Mr. Halamo. The state is offering that you serve 15 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 15-month probationary period, you'll be required, you will not be required to pay a fine, so I don't see one on here. You will be required to pay court costs of $277, probation fee of $60 a month, your announcement fee of $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15, and you'll be required to pay restitution in the amount of $2,047.29 to Enrique Quintana Cruz. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you are on probation, is $243 a month. Mr. Halamo, will you be able to pay the $249 each month?
yeah.
That's 243, that's $244 a month. you'll be able to pay the $244 each month.
Yeah.
You'll also be required to perform 60 hours of community service. This case will run concurrent with cause number 24 CCCR 1625, and the state will be dismissing cause number 24 CCCR 1625. Now, Mr. Alamo, do you understand the state's offer?
Yeah.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yeah.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Alamo, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Alamo, we move to your next case, cause number 24 CCCR 1625. And in this case, I have before me a document that is titled information, and in this information, it alleges that you, Javier Junior Alamo, okay, I had it backwards this time. Javier Junior Alamo, on or about May 31st of 2024, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the class A misdemeanor offense of discharging a firearm in certain municipalities. Mr. Alamo, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yeah.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yeah.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yeah.
Okay. And Mr. Alamo, I also have before me a document on my tablet that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. This document is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yeah.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials on a line next to boxes checked guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yeah.
And on the next page, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yeah.
And on the next document that's titled trial court certification of the defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yeah.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yeah.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is not a plea bargain, but this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yeah.
I also have a document on paper that is titled discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yeah.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Alamo, before you signed in and issued these documents, did your attorney, Mr. Gilthorpe, go over these documents with you?
Yeah.
And did you read and understand everything that he went on?
Yeah.
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yeah.
State,
Say I'll proceed.
any objections?
No objection.
No objections. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. And Mr. Gilthorpe, you revised in counsel, Mr. Lamo. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Lamo, your attorney, Mr. Gilthorpe, has advised in counsel you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Satisfied with your attorney? Mr. Lamo, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waiver are freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement in this case?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state's offering 15 months deferred probation, fine is to be waived 60 hours community service, and we have also agreed to dismiss the companion UCW for forfeiture. And this will run concurrent with the companion case.
Okay, what is the scorecard? It's in the second case? 277. Okay, now, Mr. Alamo. State is offering that you serve 15 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 15-month probationary period, you will not be required to pay a fine. However, you will be required to pay court costs of $27. You will not be required to pay a probation fee or analysis fee because those fees are being paid in the previous case. You will be required to pay a reimbursement fee. So your total month installments in this case is $21 a month. Will you be able to pay the $21 each month?
Yeah.
Okay, you will also be required to perform 60 hours of community service. This case will run concurrent with cause number 23 CCCR 1550, and the state will be dismissing cause number 24 CCCR 1626. Mr. Halamo, do you understand the state's offer?
Yeah.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yeah.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yeah.
And Mr. Alamo, I'll follow the people in agreement that you have entered into with the state. In your next case, Mr. Alamo, is cause number 24 CCCR 1626. And in this case, I have before me a motion to forfeit the weapon in that case to the Beaumont Police Department. Do you recognize this motion?
Yeah.
And is this your signature on the line that is titled defendant?
Yeah.
Before you signed this document, did your attorney go over this document with you?
Yeah.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Yeah.
And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Alamo, I've just signed the motion. I'm granting this motion to forfeit the weapon to the Beaumont Police Department. And let's see, as part of this, we are in agreement. Get ready to sign the dismissal. Mr. Alamo, I'm signing the dismissal in this case. Mr. Alamo, if you successfully complete your probationary periods in the previous two cases, those cases will be dismissed. You'll not have a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for non-disclosure. You can talk to the attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Okay? Okay, please stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of the bench. Who's next? Patrick. Okay, Caleb Green. Who is here? Caleb Green. Mr. Green, your full name is Caleb Deshaun Green?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Green, I have two cases. First case is cause number 24 CCCR 1274. Second case is cause number 24 CCCR 0832. And Mr. Green, you're represented in your cases by your attorney, Attorney James Padgett. Attorney Padgett, what is your announcements?
Your Honor, I received some new information from my client this morning. I've relayed to Mr. Hubel. I know it's a pretrial conference setting, but I think if you were to give us one more, we may be able to avoid a trial setting on this case.
Okay, give us a reset.
I'll contact you today.
Yes. Okay, be reset to February 24th,
Yes, Your Honor.
2025. Mr. Green, you're gonna get a copy of the reset from our court coordinator. Once you get a copy of the reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
You as well.
All right, you're looking nice today.
He told me.
Okay. All right. Just have us, stand in front of the court coordinators. Joanna Michelle Solomon.
Your Honor, before we did this plea, is there any way, Mr. Solomon is here.
Oh, you
I
wanna,
wanted to see if we get Mr. Brazier back to work,
okay,
if we could. Hold on 1 second, Ms. Solomon. Mr. Brazier.
okay, hold on.
I appreciate your consideration.
Okay. Devin DeMarcus Bray is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Bray, you can take your mic off of mute. Mr. Bray, you can take your mic off of mute.
Yes, sir. I'm here, Your Honor.
How you doing, Mr. Bray?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Bray. You're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney James Paget, and Attorney Paget. What is your announcement in Mr. Bray's case?
Your Honor, we've received all discovery now, and I'm in the process of negotiating with Mr. Hubel.
He's on the announcement docket page 7.
Yes, if you could put us on the same date as the other gentleman, I think we can dispose of this case.
Okay, that's Devin Bray.
Yes, Your Honor.
Give us a reset date. He's on page 7 of the announcement docket. No, keep it on the announcement. He's just on.
Yeah, we've received all the discovery.
Which one? Oh, February 24th? Okay, Mr. Bray, your your case is going to be reset for February 24th, 2025. Your attorney and your bondsman will give a notice of your reset once you get, stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You're free to go. Thanks for being patient with us, and you have a blessed day.
You do the same, sir.
All right, you're welcome. Let's see.
Yes, Your Honor.
Trial. Okay, the court is in session and cause number 24 CCCR 1270. Case is styled State of Texas versus Joanna Michelle Solomon. Ms. Solomon, is that your full name?
Yes,
Ma'am.
Yes. Ms. Solomon, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Solomon, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes, sir.
Ms. Solomon, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Solomon?
I'm fine.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. Solomon, Ms. Solomon, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney James Paget. Attorney Paget, did you waive a record in Ms. Solomon's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Solomon, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information is on my computers. And this information, it alleges that you, Joanna Michelle Solomon, on or about February 9th, 2024, while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Ms. Solomon, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Ms. Solomon, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
No contest, sir.
Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Solomon, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. It's labeled as, this document is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials on the line next to boxes checking over content rate, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on that document?
Yes, sir.
I also have a document, also on the same document, on page 3, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there's one box that's checked. The box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right to appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
I also have a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes,
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
yes.
Now, Ms. Solomon, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes,
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
yes,
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
yes,
Ms. Solomon, are you a citizen of the United States?
yes.
State offer states one.
Any objections?
No objections to state.
No objections. States Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Paget, you've advised and counseled Ms. Solomon. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None, Your Honor.
And Ms. Solomon, your attorney, Mr. Paget, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Ms. Solomon, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state's offering 180 days, probated over 15 months, $750 fine, 80 hours community service, DWI standard conditions, and then interlock.
What is her? Okay. Ms. Solomon, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not be required to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be placed on probation for a period of 15 months. During the 15-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $750 for store costs of $392. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $6 a month, urinalysis fee of $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15. You'll also be required to pay a DWI conviction fine of $100. You'll also be required to pay Jefferson County DWI education and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. The total month installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $170 a month. Ms. Solomon, would you be able to pay the $170 a month?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to perform 80 hours of community service, install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate, attend a completed DWI education class, have an alcohol assessment, and adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of DWI probation. Ms. Solomon, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Solomon, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Solomon, you're gonna stand next to the daily, follow her direction. Once you finish following her directions, you're free to go and you have a good stay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Foskey,
Thank you, Mr.
No, backwards yet?
I'm sorry?
I
Did
don't
you
know.
get backwards yet?
Which one is that?
Shay Brooker?
Yeah, they have.
Foskey.
Judge, before we call Foskey, can I have two that are resets? Can we let them? go?
Okay, let me get to.
They both.
Oh,
Mhm.
Who else?
Two others.
Oh, you have,
Jorge Watkins.
Lance Edwards.
He's on Zoom, Judge.
Mr. Edwards, you can take your mic off of mute. How are you doing, Mr. Edwards?
Yes, I'm doing well today, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Edwards, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Corey Crenshaw. Attorney Crenshaw, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Your Honor. Thank you.
That's good. Now, Mr. Crenshaw, what is your announcement in Mr. Edwards' case?
I believe the state has a motion for continuance.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, you have any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Let me see. Give us a reset.
We could please come back after March 10th, Judge.
Okay. This is Lance Edwards. He's on the trial docket. They want March 7th.
March 10th, please, or later.
Yeah, he's on page 1. He's the first on page 1.
Probably the oldest case.
Yes.
March 1st. I mean, after March, yes.
March 10th or later?
Yeah.
March 10th?
Okay, this case will reset March 10th, 2025. Mr. Edwards, stay in contact with your attorney. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
You as well.
Okay, thanks for being patient with us. Who else? You say you had another one?
Yes, Judge, and on the pretrial docket.
He's actually in the announcement. docket.
Oh, on the announcement.
Oh.
It's a
that's
fairly new
Foskey.
case, Judge, but I couldn't get it reset.
Oh, Foskey.
No. This is Jorge Watkins, Judge, on the announcement docket.
Okay. Jorge Watkins. Mr. Watkins, this is cause number 23 CCCR 2226. Case of Southern State of Texas versus Jorge G. Watkins. How are you doing?
Good, and yourself?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Watkins is represented by attorney Corey Crenshaw. Attorney Crenshaw, what's your announcement?
Judge, this is on the announcement docket. If we could put it on the announcement docket in March, this is one that will be resolved with the plea agreement. I just need to meet with District Attorney Giblin regarding a resolution.
Give us a reset. This is on the announcement docket, page 2. Yes.
You said in March?
March.
Same day?
Sure.
It's gonna be reset to March 10th, 2025. Is that correct? Will be March 10th, 2025?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Watkins, you can get your reset. Once you get your reset from our coordinator, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. Thank you. Free trial. Blake Foskey. Okay, the court is in session in 2 cases, cause numbers M328750 and cause number M333450. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Blake Christopher Foskey. Mr. Foskey, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Foskey, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Foskey, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Mr. Foskey, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Foskey?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Foskey, you're represented in your cases by your attorney, Attorney Corey Crenshaw. Attorney Crenshaw, do you waive a record in
Yes, Your
Mr.
Honor.
Foskey's cases? Okay, Mr. Foskey, in cause number M328750, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Foskey, it alleges that you, Blake Christopher Foskey, on or about September 1st of 2020, while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed a Class A misdemeanor, but the state is abandoning the enhancement paragraph. Is that correct, state?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And so what that basically means, Mr. Foskey, instead of being charged with a Class A misdemeanor, you'll be charged with a lesser included Class B misdemeanor DWI. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And to the charge of driving while intoxicated first, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes.
Foskey, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, is also labeled as States 1. You recognize this document? On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials on the line next to the box that says guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
I did.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes.
And on the next document is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
It is.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
I do.
Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir, it is.
Mr. Foskey, before you signed in and issued these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, he did.
And did you read and understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes, sir.
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Foskey, are you a citizen of the United States?
Sure am.
State up for States 1.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection. States Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Crenshaw, you advising counsel, Mr. Foskey. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Foskey, your attorney, Mr. Crenshaw, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Absolutely.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, indeed.
Mr. Foskey, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I mean, your plea of guilty. Okay. I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I will also find that your plea and waivers was freely and voluntarily given, and I will also find that you're mentally competent to stand trial. Mr. Foskey, do you understand? Well, state, do we have a
We do, Your
plea
Honor.
bargaining agreement? And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state's offering 1 year deferred probation, $750 fine, 30 hours community service, interlock DWI standard conditions of probation. This will run concurrent with the companion case.
That is correct, Your Honor.
What is this court cost? Okay, Mr. Foskey. State is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year probationary period, you're required to pay a fine of $750 plus court costs of $392. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, a year analysis fee of $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15. You'll also be required to pay either by conviction fee or fine of $100. You'll also be required to pay Jefferson County Detailed Education Initial Evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea should a further evaluation be needed. You'll be required to pay an additional $50. Your total monthly installments, that ain't the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation, in this case, is $196 a month. Will you be able to pay the $196 each month?
Yes, sir.
You will also be required to perform 30 hours of community service. You will be required to you also be required to install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. You'll be required to attend a completely DW education class, have an alcohol assessment, adhere to the other standard terms of this probation, and this probation will be running concurrent with the companion case, cause number M333450. Mr. Foskey, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Foskey, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into in this case. Okay, now, Mr. Foskey, we will move to your next case. Your next case is cause number M333450. And in this case, Mr. Foskey, I have an information that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. And in this information, Mr. Foskey, like the previous information, it alleges that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. However, the state, you abandoning the enhancement paragraph, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. Do I need to write it on that one?
Oh, let me see. I think it's on it. I see you did that guy first.
I may need to write it. on
Yeah,
that
you
third
did.
page.
Okay, okay.
Shortly.
Okay, Mr. Foskey. I have before me an information that alleges, well, the state is abandoning enhancement paragraph, which means that instead of being charged with Class A misdemeanor DWI, you'd be charged with Class B misdemeanor DWI. And in this information, it alleges that you, Blake Christopher Foskey, on or about September 30th of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. First, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Foskey, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Foskey. I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2, there's a set of initials on the line next to the box to check guilty. Do you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document that's titled charcoal certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, it is.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box is checked, states that this is a plea bargain case. and you have no right to appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
Second box of the check states that you're waiving your right to appeal, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that statement?
I do.
I also have a document on paper that's document discovery certification. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's tied at defendant? Mr. Foskey, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
I did.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State overstates at this time.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection. States exhibit number 1 will be admitted. And again, Mr. Rich, are you advising counsel, Mr. Foskey? Is there any evidence that he's currently been in a competent trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Foskey's attorney, Mr. Crenshaw, has advised counsel in this case. Are you satisfied with the service?
Yes.
Mr. Foskey, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you're a member of the competent trial. I'll also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I'll also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay. State, do we have a plea bargaining agreement in this case?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state's offering 1-year deferred probation, $750 fine, 30 hours community service, interlock, and standard DWI conditions.
That's correct, Judge.
Okay.
It's the exact same
Yeah. I see it.
cases.
Is this the court cost in this case the same, $392? So it's. Okay, Mr. Foskett, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year probationary period, you're required to pay a fine of $750 plus court costs of $390. It's $392? Yeah, $392 a month. You'll also be required to pay a DWI conviction fine of $100. You will not be required to pay a probation fee. You will not be required to pay a analysis fee. However, you'll be required to pay a reimbursement fee of $15. The total monthly installments in this case is $114 a month. Will you be able to pay $114 each month?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to perform 30 hours community service, install any lock device on any vehicle that you own or operate, attend and complete DWI education, have an alcohol assessment. You'll also be required to pay Jefferson County DWI education initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of probation, Mr. Foskey. This case will also run concurrent with the previous case calls number M328750. Mr. Foskey, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
You accept the state's offer?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Foskey, I follow plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Foskey, if you successfully complete this probationary period, these cases will not result in conviction. You may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Mr. Foskey, would you please stand in front of the court coordinator, follow her direction. Once you finish following her directions, you're free, following the bailiff direction, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day. Who's next? Okay, who's his turn? Who?
Brooks, Shy Brooks.
Shy Brooks. Okay, this is cause number 23CCCR 0242. Case is style of state of Texas versus Shy F. Brooks. Mr. Brooks, Is that your full name?
Yes.
Mr. Brooks, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Brooks, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Mr. Brooks, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Brooks? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Brooks, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Mark Faggett. Attorney Faggett, how are you doing?
Okay, thank you for asking, Judge.
Okay, you're welcome. Now, Mr. Faggett, you waive a record in Mr. Brooks' case?
We do.
And Mr. Brooks, I have before me on my computer a document that is titled, hold on a minute. I have before me on my computer a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Brooks, it alleges that you shot Brooks on or about December 15 of 2022 while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of resisting arrest, search, or transportation. Mr. Brooks, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, no contest? Now, you pleading no contest free and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Mr. Brooks, I also have before me a document on my computer that is titled Misdemeanor Plea. Mine was also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials on a line next to the box that's checked no contingent, which means no contest. You place your initials on this document. On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant, is this your signature?
Yes.
And on the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification, the Defendant's Right of Appeal, recognize this document.
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. First box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right to appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
I also have a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
Mr. Brooks, before you sign and initial these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Brooks, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State offer states one.
Any objections?
None.
No objections. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. And Mr. Faggett, you advised in counsel, Mr. Brooks, is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None whatsoever.
And Mr. Brooks, your attorney, Mr. Faggett, is advised in counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Mr. Brooks, I will accept your plea. No contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargaining agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state's offering 14 days in the Jefferson County Jail, credit for 14 days, and to tax and retire court costs.
Mr. Brooks, the state is offering that you serve 14 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not be required to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already served 14 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you've already served. The court costs in this case will be taxed and retired. That simply means that you will not be required to pay the court costs because the time that the spent in jail has already paid off the court costs. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. Brooks, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Mr. Brooks, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Brooks, please stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you're free to go. Now, this next case is going to be reset with the felony. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. But I did want to advise the court on the 27th, I have to be in Montgomery County for a thing that I cannot move. So maybe we can reset him. This felony set on the 27th.
So what date you want this?
Why don't we set it for a week later, if that's okay? It would be February, whenever.
How long? We'll coordinate.
I think your court date is this one. And we picked something on February.
It's January 27th? Okay,
Be that February 3rd, that Monday.
Yeah, February 3rd works.
so we're gonna put it on the 3rd, February 3rd, 2025. Okay,
Thank you.
he's gonna get a reset. Who's next? Is it, we have any?
Burbank volunteers is tribute, Judge.
Who?
Scott.
Who is that? Who's your lawyer? Burbank? Okay, Christopher Scott? Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you have the discovery search? Do you have the discovery search on Christopher?
He doesn't have
Got
the
two.
discovery cert?
We can start,
We're
Judge. We'll have
ready
them
to go.
filled out.
Okay. Okay, we got 2 cases. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is in session. The court is in session in 2 cases. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Christopher D. Scott. They are cause numbers 23-CCCR 1852, cause number 23-CCCR 1853. And Mr. Scott, your full name is Christopher D. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Scott, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Scott, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Scott? That's good. Now, Mr. Scott, you're represented in your cases by your attorney, Attorney Tom Burbank. Attorney Burbank, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Judge.
That's good. Mr. Burbank, do you waive a record in Mr. Scott's cases?
In each case, Judge.
Mr. Scott, in cause number 23-CCCR 0486, I have before me an information that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Christopher Duval Scott, on or about it's cause number 23-CCCR 0486. It alleges that you, Christopher Duval Scott, on or about July 3rd of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Mr. Scott, you understand what you have been charged with? And to this charge, Mr. Scott, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest? Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no? Oh, which one is it? Okay, and are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charge? Okay. Now, Mr. Scott, I also have before me on my tablet a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Do you recognize this document? And on page 2 of this same document, there's 2 sets of initials. One set is your attorney initial, the other set's CS on your initials. Did you place your initials on this document?
I did.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature? On the next document that's titled trial court certification, the defendant's right of appeal. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box is checked, states that this is a plea bargain case. You have no right of appeal. You understand that statement? Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your rights to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have before me a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
It is.
Mr. Scott, before you sign and initial these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
It did.
And did you understand everything that your attorney went over?
I do.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Great.
Mr. Scott, are you a citizen of the United States?
Still for stage one.
Any objections?
No objection, stage one.
No objections. States exhibit number 1 will be admitted. And Mr. Burbank, you've advised in counsel, Mr. Scott, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Scott, your attorney, Mr. Burbank, has advised in counsel you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
I
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Okay. Mr. Scott, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I'll also find that you're pleading waivers and freely and voluntarily given. I also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargaining agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
The agreement in this case is to 180 days time served, court calls tax and retired. This is to run concurrent with 1852 and the state's dismissing 1853 for this plea.
Mr. Scott, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in Jefferson County Jail, but you will not be required to serve 180 days in Jefferson County Jail because you've already served 180 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you've already served. The court costs in this case will be taxed and retired. That simply means that you will not be required to pay the court costs because the time that you have spent in jail has already paid off the court costs. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. This case will run concurrent with the companion case, cause number 23 CCCR 1852, and the state will be dismissing cause number 23 CCCR 1853. Mr. Scott, do you understand the state's offer?
I do.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Fair.
And do you accept the state's offer?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Scott, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Scott, we'll move to your next case. Your next case is cause number 23 CCCR 1852. In this case, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Scott, it alleges that you, Christopher D. Scott, on or about May 18th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed, that while you operated in a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Mr. Scott, do you understand what you've been charged with?
I do.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest? Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Correct.
Mr. Scott, I also have before me on my tablet a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. You recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials on CS next to your attorney's initials. On the line next to the boxes, check no contender. Did you place, did you place your initials on this document?
It is.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
It is.
And on the next document, it's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
It is.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. First box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case. You have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to appeal, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Scott, before you sign any initial these documents, is your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
I did.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? And state, like the officer states one?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
Stage one.
No objection. States exhibit number 1 will be admitted. And again, Mr. Burbank, you advising counsel, Mr. Scott, is there any evidence that he's currently admittedly incompetent in this case?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Scott, your attorney, Mr. Burbank, has advised counsel in this case, so you satisfied with the services?
I am.
Mr. Scott, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent. I will also find that you're playing waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargaining agreement?
We do.
What is that agreement?
As with the previous case, this deal is 180 days time served, court calls tax retired, to run concurrent with 0486, dismissing 1853 for this plea.
Okay, Mr. Scott, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail, but you would not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail in this case because you've already served 180 days. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you've already served. The court costs in this case will be tax retired. That simply means that you will not be required to pay the court costs because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. This case will run concurrent with the companion case cause number 23CCCR 0486, and the state will be dismissing cause number 23CCCR 1853. Mr. Scott, do you understand the state's offer? You think the state's offering your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Scott, I'll follow people in agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Scott, please stand in front of the court coordinator. Follow directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you'll be able to get a copy of this dismissal and you'll be free to go. And Mr.
He's gone.
Burbank?
He left. We're on 4 strong.
Okay,
We have one more guy, Mr. Coleman.
Tillman, Raphael Tillman. Yeah, it's got third case on here. It's supposed to be a dismissal.
Wait, no, it's not.
So his case is supposed to be dismissed?
Not Mr. Tillman's case.
Huh?
No, Scott.
Scott.
He had 3 cases. He had 2 DWIs and a dismissal is not on
It's 185.
Okay. So this is Tillman. Okay, this is, court is in session in 2 cases, cause numbers 24CCCR 0558, excuse me, 0548, and cause number 24CCCR 0549. Both cases are styled of state of Texas versus Raphael Tillman. Mr. Tillman. Is that your full name?
Yes.
Mr. Tillman, how are you doing? That's good. Now, Mr. Tillman, you're represented by your attorney, Attorney Tom Burbank. Mr. Burbank, what's your announcement in Mr. Tillman's cases?
Your Honor, we provided receipts to the state in reference to the criminal mischief. It appears there's a failure to communicate between the complaining witness and, I guess, the defendant asking.
And the
for-
defendant?
Well, the
Oh.
complaining witness says she hasn't received any of the
Oh.
value that was given in reference to restitution, and so the state's gonna have time to decipher it, and we're going to provide further proof of the communications to the state.
Okay,
30-day reset, Judge, or
give us
less.
a reset date. Okay, these cases were reset to February 24th, 2025. Mr. Tillman, you're gonna get your recess from your attorney. We'll get it from the court coordinator. Once you get your recess, you're free to go. And you have a blessed day. And Mr. Burbank, those your last 2 cases?
Right, there was Stephen Jones, he was in custody, but that's been dismissed, right?
Stephen Jones?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I see it. Okay, I'm signing the dismissal right now. Is Mr. Jones here?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, he's here, he's back.
Miss Mosby? Why don't you go get Mr. Jones?
Oh,
He's not
Been
here?
dismissed, Judge.
Okay. Okay, I'm signing the dismissal.
You know about this, that one, Scott, you're on.
Scott, okay. What we have on Mr. Doyle?
Trial case.
Hmm?
Trial case, you're on there?
Mr. Doyle?
No.
Okay, I'm just doing it. Yeah, okay, we're not, okay, Mr. Bird, Mr.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Here, Mr. Dahl, Tyreka Neil Barnett. Okay, this is cause number 23CCCR 1502, case of Style, State of Texas versus Tyreka Neil Barnett. Ms. Barnett, is that your full name?
Yes.
How you doing, Ms. Barnett? I'm doing fine, thanks, Ms. Barnett. You representing your case by your attorney, Peter Dole. Attorney Dole, how are you doing? And Mr. Dole, what's your announcement in Ms. Barnett's case?
We still want a trial, but
Okay, so trial doc, so you ready?
that's sort of. I would have probably gotten with the prosecutors over the last 2 weeks in December, but they were never there. So.
Did you call or email?
With their
Set up
first-
an first. So I mean, start times you need to probably set up an appointment if you're going by.
We can start doing that.
Well,
Ready to make a motion for continuance?
I'm just,
I haven't had a chance to talk to her about it because she's been patiently sitting there, but.
You wanna-
Minutes, I can talk.
go ahead and talk to it, okay. Okay, y'all just have a seat. Mr. Who's next? Cole, what is this case?
Gary Williams.
I see Mac. What case is it on? Cole. Kyrie Jaquai Williams? Oh, that's the, okay. Tips County Court, Alert number 2 is back in session. Court is in session and calls number M323160. Case of Style of State of Texas versus Kyrie Jaquai Williams. Mr. Williams, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Williams, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Williams, do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Williams, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Williams?
Great, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Williams, you representing your case by your attorney Giles Cole. Attorney Cole, how are you doing?
Great, Judge.
And Mr. Cole, what is your, Mr. Cole, do you waive a record in Mr. Williams' case?
We do, yeah.
Mr. Williams, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Kyrie Jaquai Williams, on or about January 5th of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of possession of marijuana. Mr. Williams, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And through this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
No contest.
Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Williams, I also have before me a document on this tablet that's titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials, KW on the line next to the box that's checked. No contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
I also have a signature on page 3 of the line that's titled Defendant, is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, it is.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box is checked, states that this is a plea bargain case. You have no right of appeal. You understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
Second box is check states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, it is.
Now, Mr. Williams, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, I did.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes, sir.
to the best of your knowledge?
It is.
Mr. Williams, are you a citizen of the United States?
I am.
Zero for statement.
No objection.
No objection, states exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Code you've advised in counsel, Mr. Williams, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
Started me wearing that Redskins jersey. Got a cowboy territory, Jared. I would say that he's very competent.
And Mr. Williams, your attorney, Mr. Cole, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
I am.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Williams, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your claim waivers was freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do you have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
Agreement lists 6 months deferred probation with a $250 fine and 24 hours community service.
Is there a fee you have to pay to the crime lab? And what's the court cost again? Okay. Okay. State is offering that you serve 6 months of further adjudicated probation. During the 6-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $250 for score costs. $437, you'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month. Put in this attorney's fees. Hold on a minute.
Still Washington, though. Still Washington. Nobody better with them this week. Can't do right. Still Washington, no. They lost the line. That's why I'm coming down with you. Didn't even know what was built. There's even where that one was built.
Okay. The state is offering that you serve 6 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 6-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $250 for court costs of $437. You'll be required to pay a probation fee $60 a month, your analysis fee of $15 a month. You will also be required to pay a reimbursement fee of $15. You'll also be required to pay the crime lab $100 fee, and you'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County Court upon an attorney's fee of $250 for total monthly installments. That is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month. In this case, is $340 a month. Will you be able to pay the $340 a month? You will? Okay, you'll also be required to perform 24 hours of community service and adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Mr. Williams, do you understand the state's offering?
Yes, sir.
$340 a month. Now, Mr. Williams, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
I do.
Mr. Williams, I'll follow the people bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Williams, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It would not result in a conviction or reckoning you may qualify for non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure, basically, because he's quite competent in those matters. Okay, Mr. Williams, please stand in front of the court coordinator. You're gonna follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you're finished following the directions of the bailiff, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, you too.
And Mr. Cole, I'll see you at 1:30.
You have to turn my back.
Oh, okay, teach one. Oh, I thought he had, that's when he turned himself in?
So what's happening?
Mac. Oh, okay, teacher one, Mac. I see Mr. Mac has a paper in his hand. Now, Mr. Mac, you had a felony case set today, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
They reset your case?
Yes, sir.
And what's that court date?
February 17th.
We're gonna reset it on the same day?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna reset it on the same day, your felony, February 17th, 2025. You're gonna get your reset from our court coordinator. Once you get your reset, you're free to go, you have a blessed day. And Mr. Cole, we'll see you at 1:30.
Mr. Williams, for the probation department.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they'll tell him.
My best future.
Yes, you may. Let's see, we got Mr. Looking for Kimberly.
Yeah.
Okay,
We would like to have one final setting. And I will make an appointment with the DA's office. In 30 days.
Stay, you have any objections?
It's his first motion, so no objection.
Okay. Okay, so that's gonna be Tarika Tennille Barnett.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be reset. Give us a reset dates on trial.
February 17th.
Okay, it's gonna be reset to February 17th, 2025. Ms. Hill is gonna get your reset from your attorney. Once you get your reset, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Okay, you're welcome. Alicia Freddie. Mr. Kimler. You have Felicia Freddie. She only had one case?
Her felony got reset, yeah.
See, she had another case represented by Gertz.
Yes, sir.
He was here earlier.
He stepped outside to, I think, talk to one of his clients.
I think he signed someone on.
Okay, so, this was on June. Mr. Gertz, you also have Miss Freddie on a case?
I do, Judge. Felony case. As well as the. let's see, let's see.
Gertz and Kimball. This case is any of these cases, out of the same criminal episode as the felony?
Resisting arrest.
The resist, oh, that's this one, huh? That's the one with, Mr. Kimball?
No, Your Honor.
I see okay, that's the one with Mr. Gertz, resisted arrest. And that's out of the same criminal episode.
That's the felony, yes.
When is the felony reset? Do we know?
We don't have a date yet, but we asked for a resetting this morning in Judge Westbrook.
Okay, so we'll reset that one with the felony. And when we get it, we'll send a notice to your attorney and your bondsman. Now, this case, false report to police officer. This was transferred over here from next door. What's your announcement in this case, Mr. Kimmel?
I would say just keep it with the other case, Your Honor, that would make the most sense.
Well,
If the court
no,
wants me to try it separately, I can.
yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna reset it separate. Okay, so, because this case it was just transferred over, it's 573 days old. Okay, so, you know, put on trial docket?
Yes.
Okay, we'll put it on trial docket. Give us a reset date. This is Felicia Rochelle Freddie on page 4 of the announcement docket.
This is the one with Gertz.
No, the one with Kimball, page 4. Give us a trial date.
February 17th.
In this case, reset February 17th, 2025. Once you get your reset, from, you'll be, Mr. Kimmler, once you get your reset, you're free to go. Have a blessed day, and you have a blessed day as well, Ms. Fred.
That's all you
Hmm?
have? That's all you have?
I think I have some.
I didn't. Which one? The other one is reset with the federal, yeah. You see, he has this on this docket. Kimmler, I don't see him on the docket. And then he's on free trial.
Misdemeanor real cases.
Kimmler.
Really? That's all you do? Okay.
Yeah, I don't see you on these other dockets.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
I got a whole long list.
Oh, I didn't quick one.
Oh, is that Jermaine Dancy?
That's just me.
That's
It
correct.
was?
That's correct.
Dismissal training. I hate waiting. Come on.
Alexander
That's him.
Joseph
I just want one reset. on-
Thornton.
Just a quick reset to talk with him about his discovery.
Give us a reset date. This case will reset February 14th, 2025. Mr. Thornton, you're gonna get your reset from your attorney. Once you get your reset, you're free to go.
That's all I got.
Adams, once you get your reset, you're free to go. You have a blessed day, and you have a blessed day as well, Mr.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
I'll call you right back up.
We ready on, let's see, maybe listed. Hmm? Which one is he playing with?
Back up.
Which one is he playing on? Cause I can go to the other one.
Andrew.
Justin Thomas Downs. The Downs, your full name is, Justin Thomas Downs?
Sir.
Okay, how are you doing, Mr. Downs?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Downs, you're represented by your attorney Ryan Gertz. Attorney Gertz, again, how are you doing?
Great, Judge.
And Mr. Gertz, what is your announcement in Mr. Downs' case?
Judge, we're still going through discovery in this case, and I need to sit down with him at some point soon and go through it with him as well. So we're asking for another announcement.
Give us a reset date. This is Justin Thomas Downs, page 2 of the announcement document. In this case, is reset to February 17, 2025. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day. What are we doing on, hold on a minute. You can get his reset.
Thank you.
The James Vincent.
Judge, we're gonna have the same announcement.
Mr. Vincent, would you please come forward? Clause number 23 CCCR 1816, clause number 24 CCCR 1453, both cases filed State of Texas versus James Vincent. Mr. Vincent, is your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Vincent?
Good, sir.
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. And Mr. Vincent, you represented by Attorney Gertz. Attorney Gertz, what's your announcements?
Judge, we're still working through discovery on this. I need to sit down with him and go through it. So we're asking for a resetting date, potentially that February date is fine, Judge.
What was that February date?
17.
This is James Vincent's, is February 17, 2025. Okay, okay. Okay, Mr. Vincent, you're gonna get your reset from our court coordinator. Once you get your reset, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. You have Michael Hall already? Is it Michael Hall? Okay, Michael Hall.
He's present.
Hey, Mr. Hall, how are you doing?
Oh.
I'm doing fine, thanks, thanks. And, Mr. Hall, you're represented by your attorney, Mr. Gertz. Mr. Gertz, what is your announcement?
It's still a trial.
It's okay, you ready? Stays, be back at 1:30. Okay, we'll see y'all at 1:30.
Yeah, go get lunch. I'll meet you back.
Now we have, what about Mr. C? Cody Charles C?
Judge, we're waiting for a number in that case. I think we may get that worked out.
Okay, well, I'll just hold.
You want him to come back at 1:30?
Yeah, that's fine.
Go get lunch.
Is anybody make an announcement for Mr. Jeffries or
I can, Judge.
Catala? David Catala? Please come forward.
That case was, we had agreed to a Class C reduction on that one.
Agreed to what?
Class C reduction on that one. I have not received proof of payment from the JP on that one.
Oh, we could,
Well,
see if you can find out, from him whether or not he.
I believe it's Collins, but let me double check my email.
well, Judge, I'm gonna have him come back at 1:30 because Judge Collins will be closed for lunch. Right? He can come back at 1:30. Yeah.
So you're gonna pay it today?
What's that now?
I think it's under contract. Let me
Jasmine Taft,
Believe Ms. Simmons submitted dismissal in that case, Your Honor.
oh, that was, okay, Miss. Okay, this is cause number 23 CCCR 1642. Case is style of state of Texas versus Jasmine Sheree Taft. Is that correct? How are you doing, Ms. Taft?
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Ms. Taft, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Ben Jeffries. He's not here. I ever standing in for Attorney Jeffries is Attorney Ryan Gertz. Does Mr. Gertz have your permission to stand in for Attorney Jeffries?
Yes.
Okay, now, Ms. Taft, I have before me a document that is titled Motion to Dismiss. State you filed a motion to dismiss in this case.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And Ms. Taft will just find this motion to dismiss. You'll be able to get a copy of this motion in a few minutes from our clerk one. And once you get a copy, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right,
Thank
same to you.
The next about Vasquez is a. Oh.
But Judge,
Yeah, Mr. Vasquez?
Good
Yeah,
morning,
Mr.
good
Vasquez?
afternoon, Your Honor.
All right, how are you doing?
Good, sir. How about you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. This case is cause number 24 CCCR 0754, case of South State of Texas versus Dallas Norris. Ms. Norris, is that your full name? How are you doing, Ms. Norris? That's good, Ms. Norris. You're represented in your case by your attorney Joel Vasquez, who is appearing via Zoom. Again, Mr. Vasquez, how are you doing?
Good, Your Honor. How about you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. And Mr. Vasquez, what's your announcement in Ms. Norris's case?
Judge, I've been next door in the 252nd and the CDC, and I don't know what transpired in the Miss Norris's case in Judge Thorne's court.
So she has a case in drug court?
I reset it.
Oh, they reset it? She's on the announcement docket, page 8. These cases occur on the same date? Okay. Give us
Yeah.
what's the did they give you a reset date? No. Okay, the court coordinator is gonna check. And whatever date she finds they set it on, then she's gonna reset it on that date now.
Thank you, Judge.
If it's not in the computer today, oh, it's February 17th. Okay, so this case will be reset to February 17th along with your felony case. And now you know that on that day, you're gonna come here, check in with the bailiff, then go to felony court.
I'm gonna come here this time first?
Yeah, and then check in here, so we'll know you're here.
Okay.
And then you'll go check in with the bailiff at the drug court and finish your case in drug court, then come back here and let us know. All right? Now, Ms. Norris, you can get your reset from our coordinator. You're free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Vasquez, your reset will be sent to you.
Thank you, Judge.
And you're free to go as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Redmond.
Okay. Okay. audit.